Good morning, students. Are you hearing my voice? Students, respond. Are you hearing my voice?
Sir,
Yeah, right. Okay. So before going to today's the concept, economical conditions of ancient Egypt, we have to see the things what we discussed in the last class. Can you give me 1 or 2 points what we discussed in the last class? లాస్ట్ క్లాస్లో చెప్పుకుని ఏమన్నా 1-2 పాయింట్లు చెప్తారా? Okay, right. Uh, before going to today's lecture, I have to show you a short moving picture on the ancient Egypt civilization. First of all, I'll share that one and then I'll move to the today's concept. Economy, agriculture and economy, and other economical aspects which followed uh, in the ancient Egyptian civilization. Okay, first of all, I will show you a short moving picture on Egypt civilization. Are you getting my screen, students?
Soon, sir.
one Egyptian state that lasted for millennia. The reign of this civilization can be divided into three major periods of prosperity, called the Old, Middle, and Mid Kingdoms, and two periods of instability in between, called the First and Second Intermediate periods. The guide of the Egyptian people was a succession of about 300 rulers, often referred to as pharaohs. Pharaoh, which means great house in Egyptian, was never the ruler's formal title. It only became synonymous with a real individual in modern times, thanks to its use in the Hebrew Bible. These rulers were not always men. More Egyptian were considered protectors of the people and served as divine liaisons and the hundreds of gods they worshipped. After the rulers passed away, ancient Egyptians believed they then became gods. To prepare their journey into the afterlife, the rulers constructed elaborate tombs, including the Great Pyramids at Giza and underground mausoleums in the Valley of the Kings. Rulers filled their tombs with all the items they would need in the afterlife, including gold, jewelry, food, drink, and even pets. Preparing for this journey to the gods also involved mummifying the body. The deceased's corpse was involved, wrapped in hundreds of yards of linen, and placed inside the tomb so the body could be reanimated for the afterlife. To this day, structures like the Great Pyramids are a testament to the role of religion in ancient Egyptians' lives. But they also represent the innovative and cultural mind of the Egyptian people. Innovations in mathematics and written language in particular propelled their civilization to success. Math, specifically measurement mathematics, helped Egyptians understand and harness the world with numbers like no other civilization had before. They developed a new form of measurement called the cubit. It was used to design massive structures, such as the Great Pyramid, with remarkable geometrical precision. The Egyptians also measured time. By combining mathematics with astronomy, they established a 24-hour division to the day and created a solar calendar, which was the first dating system in history to feature 365 days in one year. Lastly, Egyptians developed methods to measure and survey land around the Nile River. These civil engineering techniques gave way for the construction of dams, canals, and irrigation systems that helped farming and agriculture to flourish in the Nile Valley. In addition to mathematical concepts, the ancient Egyptians also created written languages to describe the world around them. The oldest and probably most well-known of these is hieroglyphic writing. This system was developed around 3150 BC during the Old Kingdom and has over 700 pictorial characters. It was used to inscribe monuments and pottery and predominantly served a decorative or ceremonial purpose. Soon after, another ancient form of writing, called hieratic, developed out of the hieroglyphic system. It was a form of cursive that was written in ink and served a more functional purpose. Unlike its more formal predecessor, hieratic was written on another ancient Egyptian creation, papyrus. Papyrus was a type of paper derived from the papyrus plant, which grew plentifully along the Nile River. This medium gave the ancient Egyptians a new medium of communication and record keeping that allowed their civilization's administrative skill to grow and their culture to spread for thousands of years. As with all great empires, eventually conquered after a series of invasions, including those by the Persian Empire in the 4th century BC and the Roman Empire around 30 BC. Not many civilizations can claim a lifespan of more than 3,000 years, let alone one that made vast cultural contributions that still resonate in modern times. Ancient Egypt, with its linguistic and mathematical innovations, spirituality and religion, and extensive political and military might, set a high standard for all civilizations that followed.
Students, students, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. This is a short introduction about this ancient Egypt civilization, which is a documentary which telecast in the National Geographic Channel. Okay, so you had a certain a certain awareness among the Egyptian civilization regarding certain things like whenever you thought Egyptian civilization, whenever you know about the Egyptian civilization, you definitely get an idea about pyramids, Nile River, and mummies. Okay, so these are the unique features of Egyptian civilization. Okay, so in the same way, these are apart from these three things, Nile, mummy, concept of mummy, and construction of pyramids. You can know the various things like a script of hieroglyphics, which is a complex script when you compare to other scripts of other world civilizations. Okay, so apart from this, you also find a certain a tropical temperature when you see these geographical conditions in Egyptian civilization. Okay, so these are the certain things we already discussed, and in the yesterday's class we also discussed certain social conditions also. Okay, so how the society is there, how the society basically you find certain divisions in the society of ancient Egyptian civilization. Okay, so in the last class we discussed division of the society. Basically the whole Egyptian society, which divided into the roughly three categories. Okay, so one is the upper strata, middle, and lower strata, like that. And in the upper strata, you find certain privileged class or certain elite class, like the royal families of pharaohs and other important nobles who having certain relation with these pharaohs, and the families of the nobles, and certain landlords who have a great relation with these pharaohs and nobles, which comes under the first category, is nothing but the upper strata. Okay, so when you see in the middle, you are aware that certain scribes and craftsmen and artisans and small peasants, likewise all these things comes under this middle strata. And when you see in the lower strata, it is landless labor and the slaves and the servants, the serving class who serve the above two classes who are comes under the lower strata. Okay, so these are certain division we see in the last class. Okay, so apart from that, we have a glance over the family life, basically how the families are established. Okay, so in the family system, we also had certain things over, basically adopt the family, maybe a male elder, because like all other ancient civilizations, it is also like a patriarchal society you find, and you have certain respectable position of women in the society at this Egyptian civilization. ఓకే. సో ఇవే కాకుండా మనం రకరకాలైనటువంటి కొన్ని అంశాలు కూడా మనం చెప్పుకున్నాం. ఏదైతే స్త్రీలకి ఒక రకమైనటువంటి గౌరవం ఉండేదని, ఏదైతే ఆ స్త్రీల యొక్క సంబంధం ఎలా ఉండేదంటే భార్యాభర్తలుగా ఉన్నటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో అలాంటి భార్యే మరలా మరో జన్మలో కూడా దొరకాలనేటటువంటి ఉద్దేశంలో భర్త చనిపోయిన తర్వాత కూడా అతనితో పాటు వాళ్ళ సమాధిని నిర్మించుకునేటటువంటి ఒక పరిస్థితి కూడా ఇక్కడ మనకు ఉండేది. అట్లనే స్త్రీలకి రకరకాలైనటువంటి హక్కులు ఉండేవని మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఆస్తి హక్కు గాని, వారసత్వపుకు సంబంధించినటువంటి వ్యక్తిగతమైనటువంటి హక్కు గాని, అట్లనే స్త్రీలు కొంతమంది వర్తక వ్యాపారాల్లో గూడా పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసినట్టుగా మనం మాట్లాడుకున్నాం.